Hello and welcome to another Let's Play. Me, GamerWolfSix of the Smoke Room. Before we start, if you're interested in playing this game, you can get it for free on itch.io. And if you want to support the people that make this game and or get the newer version earlier, then you can go to Patreon. Actually, today they released this version, but the next version you'll have to pay for, $3 a month. So, anyways, on the last Let's Play, I guess we were doing it from William's perspective, where he was like thinking about the past and the human condition, I guess I would say, and meeting people's lives and stuff that is a bit over my head. And then but yeah, we banged. And for this Let's Play, I don't know, someone's banging on the door too. It's morning? Shit. I don't remember us falling asleep, holding each other tightly in each other's arms. But we did so much, I must have conked out. Sam is on his side, with his back to me and his tail resting between my legs. I check my watch. It's almost 7 a.m. there, so 5 a.m. So I guess 7 a.m. back at the other place. I'm not sure why it doesn't change his watch. Shit. I touch my temples and rub. Then I shake a shoulder. Time to wake up, sunshine. Already am. What the? I stopped shaking. And when did you get up? Can't be sure. Feels like hours ago. You get enough shut-eye? Enough, yeah. Say, William? He still hasn't turned around yet. He's looking up at the walls. Are the walls in this building hollow? A bit of a queer thing to say, especially first thing in the morning. Sounds don't get out well, so they're insulated with something. Why do you ask? Oh, I'm gonna have to censor that. He turned around, still looking up. I heard something crawling around. Things. Sometimes it sounded like something's gonna break out. Sometimes I have to wonder if his head is completely okay. That Jack fella really fucked him up. See any cracks in the walls then? No. At least, I don't think so, but if you open it up, it's full of tarantulas. Then tell me if you do. I glide my hand over his shoulder, but take it back as he sits up. His back is hunched and his head is hanging low. He could probably use some water. Jesus. That banging's just getting louder. It better not be Todd. I peek through the shutters and guard the sunlight from my eyesight. It's him. I've told him a dozen times where the spare key to the office is. Though it's not like I can complain. I just slept in and got caught with my pants down, so to speak. Also, sorry that for last Let's Play I was a bit, not in it. Being tired and emotionally tired and not wanting to, be overly dramatic and all that stuff with people probably standing outside. Could be. And talking about cougar sex. Let's fix that. I dressed as quickly as I can. Then I remember that I was going to get Sam some water. Todd can wait a little longer. Also, I'm kind of enthralled in these stories, so sometimes I'm just like, even though I don't feel like I can, I want to play so I can, I don't want to go ahead and be like, and we're going to see this stuff already. Oh, there's a baseball. I fetch a glass in the living room, filling it up, then bring it to him. Drink. Some fluid will help you wake up. Who's making a fuss outside? It's just Todd. Sounds urgent. It's probably not. Let me guess, another death or something? I mean, I don't know. Because if it were urgent, he'd remember where I put the spare key. Might be. But I'm not letting you out of my sight until you finish that glass of water. He glares, then tips his head back to chug it. A bit cheeky, but if it gets the job done. There, all done. He pushes the covers off and plants his feet on the floor, a little stiffly, then blinks. His eyes aren't rolling back or drifting out of focus, and his pupils aren't contracting or dilating, so that's a relief. You done staring me down, Sheriff? Is he really going to judge me for staring, as if asking somebody's walls are hollow or not as normal? Then, that's the kind of stuff that makes me worry about you, Sam. No need. My gaze has its fill of you last night. Ooh woo. Yeah, I guess when you're not the main character, if they're kind of like asking weird things, I don't know. Then it's like, are you okay? Must have been hard for you. Ooh woo. Don's still banging on the door. You gonna get that? Not until you're dressed and ready to go downstairs. I'll be quick about that. Also my payment, Sheriff. He steps over to his undergarments and drawers on the floor and tugs the fabric up his legs. So, you're done volunteering to get the door then? You're the one volunteering? He waddles towards the shades and tilts his head. Eyes closed. Nah. Then hurry up. I have to lock the door behind me. He's mumbling about eating his ass under his breath. As if I can't hear him while he scratches his shirt, tucks it in, and then hooks his suspenders over his shoulders. Finally, he's ready to go, and I lock the door on the way out. There's a lot of weird pauses right here where if I don't do anything, it just hangs like this. Don't still pound the door like a madman. It's I don't want to skip anything. Hold your goddamn horses. I'm coming. I let him finish his flurry of blows before I gained the knob, letting the door creak open. Well, there you are, Sheriff. There are several bodies. And pies. He looks a bit of a mess. Did you forget the key, Todd? Oh, right. Well, it ain't important right now. Huckleberry pies. I need to tell you that I met Huxley Greene, the ram, I think. Well, that's good news at least. Oh yeah? What sort of state was he in? Or maybe that's the rat. Well, none too good, considering he didn't have a head. What? You mean he's dead? Well, that's what the wallet in his pocket said, but I brought his body just to make sure. I grabbed his shoulder to move him aside to see the carcass-sized pillowcase. The carcass-sized pillowcase. Isn't a pillowcase the thing that goes over a pillow? You mean like a body pillow? You dragged this all the way here? Oops, I need to click on it. We're still recording. Cool. I figured you'd like to look at him before the bugs and buzzards got the rest of him. I lift my shirt up over my nose and crouch down, then lift the sheets off the body. It's frozen, so the smell isn't as bad as it could be, but there are pieces of fur and flesh missing. It's like frozen or rigor mortis. They're definitely his clothes, though. I'd recognize Marcy's stitchwork anywhere. It's hard to mistake the thick, black rat tail that looks more like a pale worm than anything else, so yeah, the rat guy. Yeah, that's probably him. Let's haul him inside. Yes, sir. Todd carries one side, and I carry the other into the open cell we had used the other night for the same purpose. I check outside again to see if we've dropped anything, but there's nothing much to look at. I would have thought this man was lying low or up the train out of town, but something like this in a place like here? It's just yet another thing that don't make much sense. Well, you know what they say. When it's your time, and get your head chopped off and frozen solid. Who's they exactly? Some Jesuits down the street. The man had his head ripped off, and he didn't die of old age. Well, I already know that. Maybe he died of having his head chopped off. I mean, that If he's dead, I mean that if he's dead for, let's be honest, what it looks like at least a few days, then he may have had to be real quick about issuing the hit on Mr. Tibbets. See what I'm saying? Todd blinks at me. Come on, you can put it together. Are you saying he just hated that he couldn't understand? What he couldn't understand? I'm saying he might not have placed the hit, Todd. If not him, then who? Now that's a great question, Todd. Notebook updated. We have a notebook? Oh, we do. Huh. When did that appear? Just now. That's why I always bring my notebook with me when I'm keeping track of my thoughts. Huxley Greene is dead. His body was found frozen, decapitated with ripping force. I don't know, Sheriff. He's just dead right here. Plum hickory. I thought to start picking up the practice yourself. You ought to start picking up practice yourself. Where was the body found? Asked Todd later. Bless the people that made this game to do that. Okay. I think I'm done. Now, what do you say we do... Now, what do you say... Sorry, I've just been thrown for a loop. Now, what do you say we do what we should have done in the first place and pay Mr. Tibbets a visit? Mr. or Mrs.? Isn't he the dead guy? Oh, Huxley Greene. And who's Mr. Tibbets? I turned to see the red of Sam's eyes staring at from my office. We'll be back soon. Keep the interior locked. Okay. He disappeared behind the window, and we heard a heavy lock of the door click. Shouldn't be long. I don't know if it's true, but he's just next door. So wait, what's Sam doing here at this hour? Never you mind. Debriefing. Technically not wrong. Gee, I guess he does work late hours, doesn't he? He works hard. And there's no shame in that. I didn't exactly say that, Todd. I just mean, I think he must have to do all sorts of really difficult things. I give him a look. You think about those things a lot, Todd? No. He doesn't say anything else for the rest of the walk. Hopefully I'm just going to have the thumbnail as just a happy little otter carrying a body. Some things immediately don't make sense. We reach the door of Mr. Tippet's apartment. But who's Mr. Tippet? Oh, the stoat, I think. Cliff? This lock is scratched to hell and back. I swivel the knob to see if it's still locked, but it's completely loose. Well, there's Cliff. I told you once, and I'll tell you again, that you aren't welcome here. I'll have you know that if you knock down that door, the authorities will be here in an instant. It's just us, Mr. Tibbets. Oh, thank goodness. I hear some of the furniture move around, and something rattles against the door. The door pops open, and the twitchy little man takes a step back. Please come in. I'll put on some tea. I wonder if we're going to do the first-person perspective of all of the characters we could date. Like, it's from this game and also, what's the other game? Was there also one from Ad Astra? But also, like, Shelter. I'm completely confused about why that's happened. Though maybe it's just a story thing, you know? Not an actual you're in this body or you're always this person, but hey, we're just switching people. What kind? Black with a bit of bergamot, surely. That won't be necessary, Mr. Tibbets. Do what makes you feel comfortable. Just get straight to the point and tell us what the hell is going on up here. Well, I thought it was plainly obvious that I am frightened, Sheriff. Don't be cute. Friend of who? Of that brute and bully who calls himself Reed. That wolf came crawling at my door tonight and broke the lock. Cliff claims Reed tries to break into his apartment. I wonder if this is going to be some kind of like, what's it called? LA Noire game. I was really shit at that game. Couldn't read faces. That's terrible. That's not the half of it. He could have been on me if I hadn't barricaded the door with all the furniture I could put together in this ramshackle apartment. So you know it was him for sure? The toad was firing the kettle and striking a match beneath the wood stove. I know that greasy gray fur and those bumpy little ears anywhere. So we haven't met the wolf yet. And I wonder if he... Oh, no, wait. Maybe we have... The one that was with the rat. And if I were blind, there'd of course be the smell. You know, mustelids get all sorts of earfuls about how we put off an offensive odor simply for our ordinary body senses. Buchanan's have a particular kind of reek to them that's unmistakable. He stops all of a sudden, a bit flushed in the ears. Well, he's right about that, William. You stink. I don't give an iota of a fuck about this conversation. Mr. Tibbets, please focus. I'll check in to read. That's splendid, but I don't feel a moment's peace with that madman on the loose. I'd say you'd have to stay at the station for a while. I'd like you to stay for the station a while. You'd think I'd feel safer inside of a prison cell? Nobody said nothing about any prison cells. William had a comfy couch in his office. Heck, I've slept there plenty of times. Not on taxpayer dollars, I hope. Todd looks like he just got in the face with a shovel. There's no way he'd be able to handle somebody like Cliff on his own. Let's talk about other things to do to keep you safe. He turned to look at me as he was filling metal capsules with dry leaf and flower bundles, such as, it's common protocol to investigate a victim a little closer after they've been attacked. Help us piece together a few things. He places the 3 teacups on the little table. I need to stop thinking of what the sentence might say and actually reading it, just kind of slowing down, you know? I think you'll find I'm an open book, so ask away. Let's start with who you think might want you dead. Seems rather obvious, doesn't it? Sorry, it's late. And also reading makes me do this. Just tell me who you think it is. Huxley and Reed, without a doubt. Okay. I watch his expression as he puts down the little teacups onto the table. But who else? His lip curls and he looks sideways, which probably means that he was thinking about it before I asked him. Perhaps somebody who doesn't want me to be here. Which would probably be a good question, because I'm not sure if it's just his homosexuality and openness about it that gets people under it. And also the music. Nope. Just waiting for it to change. Now we're getting somewhere. But why go through all trouble to use violence to stop your academic endeavor? Is he doing an academic endeavor? I thought he was just here to check out the wild, wild west. I lean in a little bit closer. I hear plenty of stories about how cutthroat the field of academia is, without even needing any bloodshed. The kettle whistles. A moment. You can tell he's relieved by this distraction. Sugar and cream? Sugar and cream. So, who do you think might use violence against you, Cliff? Because they don't want you here. He pours his own cup of tea first, then Todd's, then mine. Perhaps some greedy businessman who doesn't see eye to eye with my benefactor. I doubt I know their names. So, who's the benefactor that brought you to Echo? The same man who drew you here, from what I understand. Name, please? Sorry, but that's confidential. Mr. Tibbets. Just because I asked you nicely doesn't mean you can withhold that information. This is basic information pertinent to whether or not your worker's permit can be deemed valid. Well, bend my arm, why don't you? Name him. The name Tibbets? Very well. It's Mr. Hendricks, of course. And who's that? Oh, that guy. Cliff works with James for CGCS. I'm not surprised at all. This is exactly the kind of clown shit that would have his name all over it. But I want to rely on as few assumptions as possible. Could I see your official paperwork? I don't see how that's relevant to anything, but of course. He picks up the satchel by his feet, unlatches it, and then plucks a gray folder from it and passes it to me. I mean, I guess he might have also just said that he was interested in Wild West stuff and not that he was here to do sightseeing of Wild West stuff. I thumb through it. It states his full name, Clifford Tibbets, and his job title, Consultant, in gold letters. Health information follows. This is beautiful stationery. Thank you. I hand it back to him. Government issue typeface is bare bones and clinical. This is a CGCS form, non-official government verification. I'm afraid that my work permit is still moving through the post. If I'm lucky, it should arrive in a week or two, and you'll have your paperwork then. As far as I can tell, everything this man has told me has been truthful, but I can tell that his cards still aren't all on the table. What's something official you have that can prove that you are who you say you are? Work travel tickets suffice, Mr. Adler. Would travel. It's better than nothing. Well, it's the last thing I have. He slides me a ticket. It states the passage. For one person on an ocean liner, the Cornelis van Houwelink. Your ticket, Mr. Tibbets. That's mine. This is a ticket for a man named Cornelis. He looks down. And that's my, birth name. Cliff's real name is Cornelis. He claims he doesn't have his worker's permit. I don't believe it's criminal to have an alias. Is it, Sheriff Adler? Not really, no. Lots of people do it. Especially when they're writing books. It's a bit romantic to be able to choose your own name, isn't it? All you have to do is pick your mother's maiden name as your own, and suddenly you can turn yourself into a sports writer rather than a romance author. You can become anything you want, really. But there's a difference between calling yourself something new and living out a good part of your life as that something. You might not want to be what you choose to become. A life isn't a pen name, or a book cover, or a change of scenery. It's everything you are. My wristwatch sounds too damn loud again. It's just a bit concerning, with everything that's happened around you is all. Oh, and that's my fault, is it? The weasel sips his tea. You bit off more than you can chew when you took this job, didn't you? Hey. Why are you being so unneighborly with us? The stoat gestures broadly to his wrecked living room. Oh. Because I'm a little bit frightened right now, Mr. Bronson. I think we want the same thing, though. Right, Sheriff? I want to help you unmask some of the monsters trying to murder me, and I just keep telling you the truth like I always have. But just let me hold on to the idea of what I want to be a little longer, and let me keep using that new name. So there it all is then. I can recognize a fair deal when I see one. I hold out my paw to him. He claps it cautiously. You gonna say, stay at the station then, or what? Let me go wake Mr. Brins first, and I'll be on my way shortly. Brins is here? He has work early. I didn't want to wake him. I thought you said you were attacked. You think I can't repose, Mr. Adler? I told you that I can take care of myself. Mr. Brins was running a fever, and he's practically naked at the moment. I'll give y'all some space then. Very good, I shan't be long. We waited a while outdoors until we see the very weary-looking Murdoch emerge from the apartment. He looks from side to side, rubbing his snout before making his way towards the direction of his father's store. He staggers a bit, but makes his way there. Mr. Tibbets leaves the apartment 5 minutes later with a heavily stuffed bag and follows us to the station. I guess now's a good time to call it since we're pretty much at the scene change-ish, maybe? But, yeah. I just really love that whole thing where it's like, who did the thing? Who killed this body? I don't know, I'll just put it in, I guess, a pillowcase and bring it along with me. There's a lot of blood. And there's an angry wolf here trying to get the stoat. But then the stoat is working for James, but secretly. And also, Cliff isn't really Cliff. He's Cornelis, the world-renowned thief. I mean, book person. But yeah, end of this Let's Play. So comment, cause I like comments, tell me what you like, dislike, tips, otherwise, if you like me achieve and like see grow, then please like, subscribe, and check out the rest of Epic Grown. Please remember to spay near your animals to help control the pet population. And man, I want to play more of this game, but there's definitely the problem where I'm like, you really have to have that energy, because sometimes I can read nice and smooth, give a whole bunch of voices and stuff, maybe not a whole bunch of voices, but have a little twang right here kind of going on because we're in the South. But then other times, like, I feel like clam of hurricane before storm. I feel like I'm in the clam before the hurricane storm comes. You know. What are you gonna do? So maybe take a little bit of rest. Because sometimes I can do a couple of these, sometimes I can only barely do just one. But anyways, if you want to play this game, it's free on itch.io. And if you want to support these people, go to their Patreon. $3 a month. You can also get the newer versions. This version came out on public today. Though this is what, January 3rd? So yeah. It's a bit, you know. The game might be done by now. Who knows? We might, unless I'm dead, or you're dead. But then how would you be watching this video? But anyways, until next time, let's play me, GamerWolfSix, the Smoke Room. So thanks and see ya.